does his job. And that, to me, I will keep a player around even if I think his legs are shot, because you can't pay enough when you're investing the type of capital they have in high young draft talent for a guy to be able to keep them grounded and teach them the proper ways. I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, especially if you have Tremont teaching Savage, especially that's perfect because he played safety last year. Try to give him a little veteran tidbits and adjust his play if he needs to. Like that's the thing. And I like having Tremont around in that aspect. But I'm
Well,
done with Kevin Kane. The name you mentioned earlier, he can't even freaking stay healthy for OTAs, Jay. I'm sorry. This is the third year. He was basically at the value of a first round pick because we traded back to get him over TJ Watt. I'm sorry. I can't anymore.
I believe because of all the corners left, I still believe that if you look up RAS right now, Greedy Williams is one of the highest RAS players rated, and I believe that they are going to take Greedy Williams with the second round pick. And I think they
Greedy,
will
Byron
also trade
Murphy,
back
there's a
up and
couple
take
guys.
a tackle or a guard in the second round too, and almost be done for the third and fourth round here, and just walk away taking somewhere four players in the top 50 is what I believe, top 55.
Now, on top of that, we also have a tight end that possibly could be filled too. I'm sorry, if Irv Smith, Junior, falls to 44, I say you have to take him.
Oh, I think he's a high RAS rated player too.
Yeah,
I
he
think,
is. He has very high IQ.
I think if we're going to start really truly wanting to figure out where the Packers are going as Packer analysts, I guess, we need to figure out how Goody thinks. And if you look at his last two drafts and other drafts where he possibly, we can assume he was playing a major role in who was getting picked, it's off of RAS. And there was a gentleman, I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but I will tweet him out if I can find it later. He made this very point on Twitter about 3 weeks ago, if you don't remember, and I'm gonna give him credit because he hit the head right on the nail. And again, when I find out, I'll tweet him out because he is right. You want to know who Goody's going after? It's RAS, and the RAS has to matter, and then he's got to know that that guy loves football and he likes his athleticism. Boom, that's their pick.
He's a gambler. That's what I love about Gutekunst. He's a gambler. Ted was never a gambler. Freaking Gutekunst lays on the table, and hey, if a pick doesn't work out, there's other picks he's going to hit because he's able to take that gamble.
Well, and I think with Patton on the defensive side, I think it really plays into Goody's ability to be a gambler and take a guy like Rashawn Gary that people are groaning about because, again, it's the factual factor. I'm sorry, the factual factor. And he's just so much better. I'm excited to see what Patton can do with this young kid because I think he's going to be a beast. And I think
I do.
He's already blocking people on Twitter also, FYI. So that means he might be a little sensitive to it, but that's putting a chip on his shoulder, and that's a good thing.
That's more fire.
Yeah, that's a good thing too, because look at what he did for Aaron Rodgers. People didn't believe in him.
He was blocking guys like Zach Jacobson. I like Zach's humor and stuff like that, but if guys like Rashawn have never talked to Zach or read his tweets, he might find them not comedic because we're around Zach Jacobson. We know what type of person he is, how he talks.
Zach Jacobson is a very dry, sarcastic kind of guy, and I don't believe
may not like that. It's just how he is.
Yeah, I mean, we've all had our interactions with Mr. Jacobson there, and I believe he's Aaron Nagler light. Nagler comes at you much harder, but he can take it when you dish it out much harder too.
Oh no, and that's the thing is, I mean, I don't. If reporters and analysts are going to sit there and complain about being blocked, then why don't they complain about the regular fans that block them all the time too? That's how I look at it. Like, what is it? The one reporter, Mike Clemens, who went and got into it with you and then blocked you, and he's supposed to be this professional sports writer? Come on, like that. to me, that's why I don't give any credit to Rashawn Gary blocking Zach, because of the fact that he was emotional last night. He was just got drafted in the freaking top 12 of the NFL draft and to if not the best franchise in the whole freaking NFL because of its history and its legacy. And now he goes from Michigan to Green Bay. So he's not far from home either. So, I mean, and honestly, I have no problem with him blocking who he wants. Everyone has a Twitter. Why can't they use it how they want?
No. And like I said, I think sometimes we don't give people credit for being actual humans on the other end of the keyboard. And we all do things that are emotional sometimes. But we can't keep tearing people down about this. Look, and I guess what's kind of bothering me a little bit is the people out there that the kid's been picked. They're not going to trade him. They obviously, Goody has come out and said, look, we shut the door on this, and this kid we've been on, if he's there, we're taking him since February. He's not going away. It's piling on and does no good to anybody except for to be a jackass on Twitter to keep piling on about how you don't like this pick and it was stupid and this and that. There becomes a point of redundant, unnecessary foolishness when you're going to keep doing that, I guess is my point.
The only free pick I didn't want was P.J. Hawkinson, and I loved that he went to the Lions because the Lions just wasted another top 10 draft pick over the past couple of years on another tight end at spot 8 again. I had him
going to the Lions in my first 2 mock drafts. So, yep.
I just when the Lions came out and said that they had 3 meetings with Hawkinson, I'm like, yeah, they're probably going to take him if they're that high on him. And what bothers me is, what is Bob Quinn doing? They just signed Jesse James. Now Jesse James basically became useless if they're going to take Hawkinson like that.
Look, that's fine. I didn't need them getting any good players. They're in our division. Let them waste draft capital on positions they don't need, and that's fine with me. I'm good with it.
Yep, I'm good with it too.
Carolina gets Brian Burns. I guess
that's a good pick for them because they needed some help on outside linebackers. Peppers just went, and Charles Johnson isn't. I believe he's going to, or I think he's suspended again. I like the pick. Brian Burns fell a lot farther than I thought he would.
Cool thing about Brian Burns, I heard while listening to ESPN radio the other day, he was on an interview with the Adam Scheffler podcast. Okay. And his older brother, actually played 2 years for the Carolina Panthers back in the late 90s, early 2000s, actually it was early 2000s when Julius Peppers was first there. I can't remember his first name, but it was McLaurin, a defensive end. That's actually Brian Burns' older brother. And so now he is drafted to the Carolina Panthers also. I thought that was kind of a cool story.
I mean, it is. It was funny how it kind of worked out like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, here, let's get back to Mr. Smash Savage, because, look, we defended Gary. We can talk about it a little more, but I was so pumped, Dave, about the Savage. I think he was our favorite defensive back player for the both of us. Wasn't hard in our mock draft at 44 to take him. The only reason we didn't take him in the first round is because of the way the board fell, kind of. And there was some great value there at 30. When I saw them move up, I was psyched. And then I saw the pick. It's like, yes! I don't care about the 4th round right now. Which I know, Bruce, if you're listening out there, for PackersFromTheWin.com, he is not happy about giving up the 2 4th-round picks.
Yeah, I know
he likes the guard value there. And I understand his logic, though. He's looking at the value of offensive linemen that he felt were 2nd-round grades or so, and he was very excited about their ability to add to the depth there in the 4th round. So I think if you go back and listen to other episodes when we had Bruce on, you'd understand more where his frustration is coming from. And
Yeah, but I'm
255
sorry, you took a
characters
fourth
on
we
Twitter
got
isn't
from
going to do it
Haha.
for him.
You took a
What's
fourth
that?
we got from Haha trade and used
Well,
that.
yeah.
We only used 1/4. I'm sorry. We got Darnell Savage for a fourth round pick value because we gave up one of our own originals. Bruce, I love you, bud. I appreciate your draft stuff, but I got to disagree with you here. Like, we still move up in the fourth because we have an extra sixth or seventh, I believe. I can't remember which one. I think it's a seventh. But either way,
Yeah, extra seventh.
if we took a sixth, if we took a sixth and moved up into the bottom fourth or something like that, I'd have no problem with it. Or hell, moving a player we have on the roster that we can expend to move. Where there's room to get back in the fourth. There's no problem with that. That's why I'm not worried. I mean, I think if we nail today's picks with the second and third round and have the 4 top picks, I think that's just going to make the draft class even that much better.
Look, if we can take our second and third round picks and walk away with any number of positions, I agree with you at corner. I think there's enough guys, let's just say it, let's rate them like this. There's enough RAS high rated guys at corner, at guard tackle, and also at tight end for them, if they walk away with any combination of 2 players out of those groups, and even if they have to move up and it costs them later rounds, as many holes as people think they need to fill, I don't think they're that far away if they can get certain players that are going to make impacts right away, because we still have an entire ability of undrafted free agents and other free agents that are out there veteran wise that you wait to even look at those guys until you see how the draft falls for them. Do you understand what I'm saying, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
The team isn't complete yet.
The defense is supposed to be complete as it's been since 2010, in my opinion. I'm sorry, this is the closest it's been. The fact that we have 2 safeties now that are going to hold up their end. You can have your corners be press corners on the outside with Jackson, and I think he works best like that. When you get him to press the wide receiver a little bit, throw him off his route, that's why he got all those interceptions in college, because he was able to press the receiver and bump him off his route. He was sitting there waiting for the ball. That's how Jackson operates. Alexander is going to be all over his wide receivers he's covering. He was already aggressive in college. We gave him more aggressiveness with bringing guys in like Gary, Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith. We're only one inside linebacker away, in my opinion, from really having a defense that can be a stalwart for the next 3 years.
When you put Josh Jones at linebacker, you're not one linebacker away. Between him and Burks, that makes up that. I'm telling you, the way they run that 7 DB package, Josh Jones is the profile of what you're looking for, that type of package linebacker. Traditional linebackers like White and Bush you already have him in Martinez, basically.
Jones can't cover. So what's going to happen when he gets a tight end or a running back on?
That's why Savage and Williams and Amos are so important, and also the ability to have 2 outside corners in Jackson, King, or even Brown, or whoever else they're going to bring in. That's why that's important, because they run those nickel, dime, and dollar packages a lot with Pettin when they actually have personnel that they trust. And as far as aggressiveness, Dave, it's hard as a corner to be aggressive when you know you don't have somebody that's going to cover your ass if you are wrong, okay? And so then you don't want to be. And with Savage and Amos back there, I think we're going to see an exponential amount of interceptions increase from going forward.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I really think that, like I said, the aggressiveness of the DBs now, the whole DB room, to be able to press on their assignments, be aggressive. And that's what Pettin's DBs are supposed to do when you're supposed to have pressure from your front 7. If you're not in the front 7, if you can get your front and forward and you generate pressure, the turnovers are going to come, man. And now we have a front 4 that, to me, is top 5 in the NFL with not top 5, I'll say top 7, top 8, because I got to see how Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith operate. Yes, I've seen their tape before from